All right, we are live. Welcome to the Side Action, episode 9 of season 6. My name is Jim Weglars, aka Wegs. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at wegspool.com.
At Wegs Pool, yeah, not Wegs Pond. You ever
Wegs Pond?
they ever dappled? Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we go international. We could go over the pond. No,
Well,
anyway.
I'm going over the pond in a couple of weeks. We got to talk about
Yeah, we could talk about it. Anyway. Before we get too sidetracked, I'm Coop. You can check me out on Twitter at Dalton Cooper, on Instagram at Dalton Cooper at Mr. Grumpy Gills. We are the Side Action Podcast. Check us out on Twitter at Side Action Pod and on Instagram at the same handle. And we're back in the Ridge Road studio, Ridge Street,
Ridge Ave.
Yeah, there you go, Ridge Ave.
Yeah,
Ridge Ave Studio. So
yeah,
welcome back.
the Edgewater studio, I like to say.
The
You kind of
okay.
live in the Edgewater.
That's
You live
fair.
on the edge.
The Rogers Park Studio.
Rogers Park,
Yeah.
almost. We're not quite there, but I know
Okay.
you're not from here, but this is Edgewater. Over there is Rogers Park.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's okay.
These lines get very blurry sometimes.
It's just a street. So anyway, we're just recapping some stuff off pod. And we've talked about this, and I think we're going to get a following for this. I do need to start clipping the pre-pod, post-pod conversations and put that in a separate pod.
Yeah, or we
Like
could
Side Action off mic or something.
behind the scenes.
Behind the
BTS.
scenes.
There
There's
you
some
go.
really
Yeah.
good conversations that cannot be shared on air or in the YouTube stream. But anyway,
Pay-per-view.
it's practically pay-per-view. My lady problems. But anyway, let's talk about last weekend. You want to go first this time? You had the big Ohio trip from last time.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. Got to see some of the fam. Just went to Ohio. We checked out a haunted cave. Which unfortunately, in the change of culture, I've noticed that haunted attractions have kind of gotten, I don't want to say kid friendly, but that's probably the best term I'd come up with. Where it's not like, they used to make you sign a waiver. This cave we used to go to. So like,
shit your pants.
They would do so it's like kind of fair game. Like they would kind of, for lack of a better term, they would F around and find out. I don't know. Can I curse on here?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
It's our podcast.
It's our podcast. That's right.
Shit.
The FCC. We'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
But no, we did that on Friday, and then Saturday night we checked out Kings Island.
Yeah, I've heard about that place.
Yeah, nice. We really got to get to Cedar Point. I keep telling her we got to make it like a summer trip. We should do it as a group, I think, for next summer. But that was a good time. And then obviously Sunday we did football.
Mm-hmm.
We had bowling Tuesday night.
We won the game. We had the comeback.
Oh yeah,
Don't understand this.
Right. Well, I wanted to say that for you. You were the winning pitcher. So I wanted to at least give that to you. Yeah, exactly, in both ways. So we did that, and the fellows are staying hot. We were 5-2 on Tuesday night for bowling. So I think we're like 40-16 on the year now.
Dominating.
So we were in a 3-way tie for first, I think, going in. So,
Okay.
And then we had golfing. Oh, we had golfing with Prime Time on Tuesday. That's right. Prime Time Art.
So who went with you?
It was me. It was Brian, which was one of his friends, and then it was just Art. So it was the three of us.
Okay.
And obviously we had the caddy. We had Malcolm. Yeah, Malcolm was a good time. So
4 caddy. He was like.
Actually, no, he kind of it was me, and he did the little 4 caddying, but he rode in the car with us too.
Okay.
He brought he had some coffee, so it worked out well. It's a nice little brew.
How'd you shoot?
So I think I shot 89.
Were you on the south or the north?
The south course.
That's great. That's a great score. That's a really tough course.
So it is. It's tough. The greens were. I either 3-putted or 1-putted the first 9 holes. So I had 4 3-putts and 5 1-putts. So I shot 41. No, I didn't play as well in the back. So we're getting
3
there.
putts, 1 putt.
Yeah, that's the feast or famine. Yeah, there's no in between.
That's awesome.
Tell me about it. So how was your weekend?
Well, first of all, Friday was, I don't know what I did Friday. I can't remember.
Then you travel?
Well, I came back from travel on Thursday night.
Okay.
So Friday was more of a chill day, I believe. And then Saturday, I did a bunch of stuff. I went to my brother. He just moved into his new house. So little pizza night, pizza and movies, watch Ghostbusters, the original.
Nice.
That was great with my niece who's trying, like, you're kid friendly. Like she's, let's watch this scary movie.
Right.
It's sort of scary.
That's fair.
And then I got the boys to get out there to do the roll. We went to Rivers on Saturday and we watched some games. Actually, what took over the whole thing was the UFC fights that were happening. And there were tons of guys from United Arab Emirates there, and they were all into those guys, and it was crazy. And, we tried to bet a couple dogs early. Don't bet the dogs in UFC.
Yeah, it's tough.
Only at the beginning card because they get crushed. But it was some great fights, and then Luke and I hit the tables, and he was excellent. He calls it the flying geese. It's the flying V.
Okay.
The 3's on top.
Shout out to the Mighty Ducks.
And so my first time I crapped out in 2 rolls, the worst roll possible, right?
Okay.
And I threw it too far. It was like not my normal spot. Hit the back wall like solid. It flew everywhere. 7 out. And you give it to Luke. Luke was money. 5 points, man. 5 points. He had 3 8s and a 4 and a 5 or something. He was incredible. Won some money for us. As it kind of went around, he kind of backed out. Some guys lose money. Jimmy Wegg won another roll. He got another roll. I did the fire bet, dude. The fire bet, you can bet I did the 5-5-5, which is the bonus up top, all the numbers, and I've almost hit that, but I haven't hit them all yet.
We'll get there.
And then the fire bet, the last time I was there, I hit 4 points, which pays you 25 to 1. Okay. It's pretty good. It's $5, 25 to 1, $125. Not bad. This time, Jimmy Weggs was dialed in, man. Yeah. Point, different point. 5 points, dude. 5 points pays 100 to 1.
Hell yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, that sounds right.
No, 125 to 1, I thought.
Or was it 250?
No, I think you're right. It was 250.
It's 250 to 1. 250. So I got 1250 alone. And then I almost had the 6th, and I did have a 6-point place, but crapped out. So yeah, I finished, whatever, plus whatever, 13.
Did you bet on your crap again, like you did last time?
You mean I did not? No, I didn't. I should have done that. I did not lay against myself this time.
So you gotta keep that old man's wisdom in the back of your mind.
Yeah, he's like, put
I was gonna say things happen for a reason at that craps table.
It wasn't the 6th separate point. I think it was like an 8 or 9 or something. I already gotten that one. I think I had to get a 10 or something to get the 6. But I'm gonna get a fleece next time I go back. I get a Rivers fleece.
They give you a hat too, I thought.
No, maybe I don't know. Maybe if I win the 6.
Okay.
But so that was awesome.
Successful slowly trip. But surely, the foam finger on the back wall next. Yeah, Rivers.
Rivers are their official, sponsor the podcast.
At least earn some dice at this point.
I will say we got a new subscriber that was a craps guy. So I don't know who that is, but they've got 2 whole followers. Bring your followers to us.
Oh yeah.
Last thing was the softball game on Sunday. It was really fun. It's a costume thing, and it's supposed to be superhero. I think the best one was like 17 more Wonder Woman, right? And then the Captain Underpants, Nicole, who basically took off that outfit really fast because she was too cold, but.
I have no words to say.
But it was fun, and then we had the Come From Behind victory on our team. We were down most of the game, and then with Sasha came through in the clutch.
Sasha did. 2
outs, 2 on, down by 1, right?
Yeah.
No,
we were tied at that point. Yeah,
we were tied at that point, but she legged out the single, boom, and we won 7-6, I believe, in the final. So it was exciting.
It's exciting. And we played some grass ball. I don't know if you saved
I saw that. I watched it. I was trying to lay off completely till November, but I saw you playing a little bit.
You got to keep that ankle fresh,
Achilles, bro. Well, let's go into our actual stuff now. We got the Dub Club to start, which I'm sure what can be said. Oh wait, okay. Oh, sorry. We go to the shed first. I'm sorry. I skipped to the Dub Club.
Yeah.
We go to the shed first, which is funny because I was thinking about this when I put this together. Can you 1 week be in the Dub Club and the next week be in the shed?
Oh yeah, that's talk about adversity.
So I'm putting the top 3 hitters from the Phillies, including Kyle Schwarber, who was in the Dub Club last week, and that's Trey Turner and Bryce Harper. All 3 of those guys are going in the shed because they went 1 for 20 in games 6 and 7 at home against the Diamondbacks, and they obviously lost and are not going to the World Series.
Are you trying to say you're a seam head, Jimmy Weggs? Jimmy Weggs is becoming a seam head before our very eyes.
I pay attention to October baseball.
Yeah.
No other time of the year.
No, it's really funny because the first trio I have on the shed is actually I had Harper, Turner, and Castellanos because even better, they went 0 for 24. So that one hit must have came from Schwarber, unless our stats departments are different. They're definitely in the shed. James Harden is in the shed. There's a lot of different reasons, but I think it's really funny that he showed up to travel with the Sixers, and they told him just to stay home. And he's making $33 million this year.
Well, he missed training camp, right? Is that the deal?
Yeah,
he missed training camp. He's like, hey, I'm going to show up for the game. We're like, hey, sit the first 2 games out.
Yeah, and then today I think there was news that the Clippers were actually pulling back from trade interest in him. So
I heard that.
Again, for anybody feeling bad out there, just know that the Sixers are paying James Harden $33 million to do nothing and stay away. So
I can do that.
Yeah, if they need help, we're available. We can even sit here and talk about it. Yeah, we can even talk about it. We're also going to put the Bulls in the shed. I don't know if you saw the game last night. We were playing golf league and they had it on.
I heard there was a private meeting.
Oh, they did. They had a players only meeting after the first game of the season, following a 20-point loss.
Sign.
So, and it's the Thunder. If it'd be one thing if it's like a really good Western Conference team, but they would. Yeah, I don't know if the Thunder are going to the finals, but anyway. And then Shane Pinto is going to the shed. I don't know if you heard about this, but he had a 41-game suspension from the NHL for violating their gambling policy. The other problem is he is on their development team, so he's without a contract, so he's going to be suspended and not playing.
That's not paid.
Yeah, and not paid. That's kind of a double whammy for.
That's tough. You know what? He was trying to make a little make a little cheddar as he was getting at
it was confirmed he was not betting on hockey, so it was a different sport.
It wasn't like an under in hockey. He's like
yeah,
sending the puck in the stands.
Yeah, or like he had insider info.
Icing every time. I know a little bit about that.
So a little bit. Okay, that's enough though.
Yeah.
We can work with that. But yeah, that's who we got taken to the shed this week.
Okay, now the Dub Club, different. Let's change. We're getting the red rope going. We're gonna let this guy in.
Okay.
Tyson Bagent, we talked about him last week, dude. Come on. I mean, he was 21 for 29 for 162 yards, but hey, man, Division II quarterback start gets the win against the Raiders, and they crushed the Raiders in that game.
Yeah, and there was actually talks that some of the Bears players were talking about the Raiders quit halfway through that game. So
they're like, we can't handle this Division II guy.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels' team quitting? No way, right? There's animosity.
I think they hate him.
They hate him?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I had no idea that was evident, to be honest. No.
Well, that's why I was surprised they played so good the week before.
They did, yeah.
I was like, I don't understand this team. One week they play great, the other week they suck. But anyway,
they have no consistency in quarterback either. So
that's right.
But anyway, the first person we're going, Myles Garrett. Even though the Browns did pull that out against the Colts, but he's an animal. He's the first player since 2000 with multiple sacks in a game and a blocked field goal. In the same game. So he also added 9 tackles. He had 2 sacks and he had 2 forced fumbles. So
as you said, he's an alien.
He is an alien. You see him jump over to block that field goal? It's just.
And you can't touch anybody when you do that.
No,
you can't to actually not hit anybody on the full jump.
You got to treat him like a hurdle, literally. Yeah, it's crazy. So he's just a freak. So shout out to him. Also, Bruce Bochy, third manager in the history of MLB to lead 3 or more teams to the World Series. The other one was Dick Williams, and I can't remember the other guy. I didn't write down his name in time. But another little World Series note, which we'll get into here in just a second. But both teams, if you look back between the Diamondbacks and the Rangers, if you look 2 years ago, they're both 100 loss teams.
Wow!
So talk about the epitome of a sports fan. Man, you can only hope that 2 years ago, it's crazy.
There's a chance.
That's the beauty of sports. Mm-hmm. So just to keep that in mind, and we'll also put the Pacers in Club Dub. They scored 143 points last night. It's the most in the season opener since 1990. And then we're going to put Cade McNamara.
Okay.
He confirmed to come back to Iowa next year. He's going to be 24 in May.
Oh.
And he's going to make $139,000 in NIL value. But he's going to be the oldest guy in college football next year. So shout out to
there was that kicker from whatever team is like 33.
I was like Hawaii, I think, or something like that. So I'll have to check into that. But they were talking about it on Twitter. So I just thought that he's been in college football for it seems like forever.
Yeah.
So shout out to Cade McNamara staying relevant. Hopefully his Achilles surgery, or not his Achilles, his ACL surgery is going well.
It'll be just so.
But yeah, shout out to him. So that's Club Dub this week.
Club Dub, good Club Dub.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the college games. There was a lot of big games last week. We'll talk about them in a minute. And but you've got some more. Pac-12, every single week there's a game on here because they're really good teams out there.
Yeah, it's good. Best quarterback conference in America by far, and we don't even know who's going to come out because Caleb Williams. He could always stay and make $6 or $7 million.
I can stay, and I can also not win any more games.
Did you see Acho talking that he should sit out the rest of the year, starting right now, which is just wild. But
ridiculous.
We have Oregon at Utah. We have Duke going to Louisville. Then we have BYU at Texas. BYU's not ranked, but they are 5-2, and they've been the definition of frisky.
They're frisky. They're frisky.
Absolutely.
Frisky
Exactly. We were 1-1 last week. Unfortunately, Clemson shit the bed against Miami, so we'll leave that alone. That's me and my Miami love-hate relationship.
Ohio State came through, and I got to admit, before the game, I'm like, I'm just gonna put some cash on the underdog. That was a mistake.
Yeah, I tried to tell you, they're young, man. They couldn't move the football. So Marvin Harrison
offense is bad.
There's an argument to be made that Marvin Harrison should win the Heisman.
So, he was so great. He was really the only guy on the field that could really do anything on both teams because both defenses are pretty good in that game.
And he's the most feared player, I think, in college football outside of maybe the quarterbacks. But by far. So, but this week we're going to ride with Oregon.
Okay.
Utah has actually won the last 27 home games with fans in the stands, minus COVID. They lost a couple games, but dating back to 2019, they've won 27 straight home games. But I think Oregon.
So you're going to go against.
I'm going against that trend. I think it's going to end. I think Oregon is a 10-point, if not more. I think that Oregon's going to take care of business. They have to win this game.
They do
to stay in the relevance of the college football playoff and to stay in the Pac-12 running. So, and then shout out to James Madison. We're going to ride with James Madison minus 20.5. They're playing Old Dominion at home.
Nice.
James Madison is actually 25th ranked in the country right now.
Yeah,
they're in the top 25
now.
Since they joined the Sun Belt, they're 4-0 and they've allowed a total of 59 total points in conference play so far in 4 games.
That's pretty good.
I'm riding with James Madison. Their differential against Old Dominion, I think, was around 56 or something like that. So the Cooper metrics lined up this week.
The Cooper metrics.
We like James Madison.
James Madison. What's their mascot?
Oh,
sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just thought you might know.
I might know. I've seen it. Do you
James
know?
Madison was a little guy. I have no idea.
Oh man, now you're gonna get the stats.
You look it up.
We'll
go
come.
on to
If anything, we
October
almost
update.
forgot our basketball is back too.
Oh yeah, NBA. You
The
slipped
NBA
that
is
in
back.
the-
Yeah.
in the
Also,
dub
last part
club.
of almost forgot. Last part of Club Dub. The NBA is back. So just a little quick one. Do you want to give your finals preview?
I'll give my finals preview. I want to be on record that I'm not a big NBA guy.
Okay.
Again, I mean, it's better now when if those few years when it was just LeBron against Steph every year, it was boring as hell. I'm like, give me another team. So now you actually have different teams that can play. I got Bucks versus the Suns. I know that the Suns are a little bit further down the list. I think
As
the
far as
Bucks are going to win in terms of winning the championship.
The fourth. Maybe the fourth best odds to win the championship.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're not like number 2.
Oh, okay.
I think the top 2 teams. The Bucks are number 1.
No, that's fair. And you're going with who do you think is going to win that matchup?
I think the Bucks will.
You're going to win.
I know
you're
that.
going with the Bucks.
I know they're the favorite.
Gotcha.
This is
You're
the
going with the
NBA.
Bucks. That's
favorites
fair.
usually win. I mean, I'm not fading Denver. My dad, of course, first game of the year. Dad, I know you're not listening, but first game of the year, he's texting me. Oh, Nuggets look pretty good tonight. I'm like, Dad, there's 82 teams. Like, really?
Hey, Dad knows though. He's been around
He's
the
like,
block once or
LeBron.
twice.
It must have been emotional for LeBron to see them get the rings. I'm like, I don't think he cares.
That's fair.
So what about you?
That's
You've
fair.
got some other teams down the board here.
Yeah, absolutely. So my finals preview, I'm actually going to take a little left. I'm going Cleveland against Phoenix.
Cleveland, okay.
I think Cleveland has got a lot to prove from last year. They
Sure.
got it kind of taken advantage of in the first round.
Okay.
I think the Knicks last year took
Yeah.
it, like beat them 4-1.
Yep.
Did they sweep them? I can't remember. But anyway,
They swept them.
yeah, I think Cleveland could be a sneaky team. 2 futures that you could look out for if
Okay.
you are into the NBA.
if
Sacramento.
you want to wait 7 months to get money.
Yeah, there you go. If you're a degenerate and just like, taking chances, maybe being predicting the future, if you will.
Sure.
But Sacramento is plus 4,500. I think that's a really good value. And then New Orleans, I don't know if you saw Zion. If he could cross your fingers and he can stay healthy,
Come on.
they have CJ McCollum. They've got some good players down in New Orleans.
I know they do, but Zion, if he the whole game for the whole season, please, he's not going to be healthy. Come on.
Hey, I mean, he's been very active in his offseason with the 2 women. So maybe it's been working on his cardio. He's staying in shape. Maybe he's actually
Now
caring
he's
about
got to
the game
earn some
now.
bonus money.
So yeah, now we can have our October update.
All right. October update. We will get to the NFL, you avid listeners. World Series. This is what they call whatever the pinnacle of all sports. Every sport is involved right now. Okay, so you've got the Rangers. Obviously, they took out Houston. Houston 0-7 at home in the playoffs. That is insane. I can't believe that's what happened. That's got to be the first time ever. So the Rangers make it. Your Bruce Bochy comment is great. He's got his team playing great. The Diamondbacks. They beat Red Storm. It's called Red October, friend.
Oh, my
Red
fault. The
October.
bank.
Phillies, who originally had Phillies Coke away. Maybe they were on Coke.
No,
I had to add an H in there and choke away, but maybe they were coked up. I don't know. And that was like the
Who knows?
86 Mets. But they blew them. They blew it, man, with that big payroll. So I'm on the Rangers here. I know they're the favorite. I'm like captain favorite. But
Okay.
I almost bought into them before the ALCS. The price wasn't that big though, so I was like, I just put some money down. I could have won, but anyway,
No,
Rangers.
So I'm against you on this. I think the Diamondbacks are going to win this series. I like their pitching. Their bullpen is a lot better than the Rangers.
Sure,
for one thing.
sure.
But no, the Diamondbacks
And
win.
they're plus 145.
And they robbed the bank. I mean, they went in and literally robbed the bank and took it right. I mean, everybody on the planet thought the Phillies were going to the World Series.
First of all, do you know who's responsible for the Diamondbacks being in the World Series?
Was it Zach Gallen that hit a bird in the outfield this year? Because I was also looking at that on Twitter. Did you know it was 2001 when Randy Johnson hit the bird, right? He killed it. And they won the World Series that year. This year it happened, I think, when they were playing the Mets.
Well, I was thinking more that there was a particular play. And I'm sorry, I'm not a Cubs guy, so I don't remember the player. There was a play at the end of like the Braves-Cubs game. The dude misses the catch, and they say if he would have caught that ball, the Cubs would have made the playoffs, and the Diamondbacks would not have
made the playoffs. That's wild.
They were gonna. I should have put them in the shed, but it's like months ago. But the thing is, like the Diamondbacks are maybe they're the team of destiny, as you said last week. The Phillies, like this is a team that probably shouldn't be here, but they are, and they're rolling it. They're rolling it.
Yeah, I like the Diamondbacks. It's crazy how momentum. They're the 9th lowest payroll in baseball, by the way, the Diamondbacks.
There you go.
Here we are in the World Series. So
there we go. So you've got the schedule up. You've got game 1 is tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, Friday night. So it's Zach Gallen, Nathan Eovaldi is going to go for the Rangers, and then which I think favors the Rangers in that one, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But game 2 is going to be Saturday. Game 3 is Monday. Obviously, we do this on Thursday. So then game 4 is on Tuesday. Game 5 is on Wednesday. So this series could be over before we even get the next episode up. So hopefully we get to game 7, which would be Saturday, November 4th. So cross our fingers for baseball and more ratings, and because everybody thinks it's going to be a ratings, just shit show.
Oh yeah, it'll be the lowest rated World Series in some time.
Yeah.
All right, NFL, we're back, guys. We're going to talk the NFL. I promised you. I knew I'd tell you about it. That's why you're here. So NFL, we're going to do the recap first and go into the picks this week. So week 7, dude, home teams again, man. Home cooking, 9-4 this week. They kicked butt. But how about this? The Dogs, they were barking. I hope you took some money lines. I did. 9-4 this week for the Dogs. I won the Pittsburgh one, the Bears, the Giants. I had a great week in terms of the money lines.
Yeah. No, I think I had Seattle, and then I think I did ride with you Pittsburgh as well because they played the Rams. Yeah. So that was the 2 that we stayed away. I didn't get to watch too much of it. We were too busy playing softball.
But you were watching. You're there he is. He's like at shortstop. He's like, let me see. Oh, Wegs, they just scored. I'm like, what game?
All of them. Every single one.
And then the unders were 8-5 for the season. 58.5% on the season at unders. That's winning money.
That's bad football, in my opinion. We're not here to. No one roots for. It's like I said, life is too short to bet the under. If you learn anything from this podcast, that's what you should take away from it.
But it's never under until it's over.
And that's fair. Well, and the home teams too that are giving up more than a touchdown are actually 28-9 this year to start the season against the spread. And that's awesome. They've won 13 in a row, and obviously the last one in that scenario was the this weekend with the Patriots over the Bills. So
that is crazy.
We'll see.
I don't know what happened. But again, let's say it again. The spread's not mattering, guys. One game out of I guess it was 13 last week. My bad. My math's bad. 1 out of 13 last week. Only 11 on the season have mattered. So pick the winner. That's what I always tell you. In the big contest, actually I went 3-2, which is not bad, 60% for the week. But more importantly, the pack is coming back, baby. We are moving up. We're up to 480th place overall. Still 236th in the second quarter. But now we've actually gained a full pick on the money, so to speak. They're at 67%, 67.1%. We're at 60% at 21-14. The leader was at like 80% the week before. Now they're at 75.7. I don't know if we'll catch them because they're a full 6 points ahead of us or 5 points ahead of us, 5.5. But hey, we got a shot, and there's 2 more weeks in this quarter. I don't know if we can get all the way up there at 10-5 because I think the top guys only have 1 loss, but we'll keep pushing.
Good God.
I know. It's amazing.
That's tough.
So we came out of the gates, did not follow Coop's advice on the Ravens. They obviously took out poor Jared Goff. The cover machine became a crap machine. They got destroyed. Now, early in the season, everybody was talking about this Todd Monken offense, and maybe it's finally getting traction. Odell Beckham came back. He's playing a little better. They scored on their first 4 drives, touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously I lost that. But I will tell you, as a result of this game, I bought Lamar Jackson MVP future at plus 700. And I also bought the Ravens plus 1,200 to win the Super Bowl. By the way, they won 38-6.
Yeah, and they just dominated the game was over really quickly. It was like 21-0 before anybody could even blink. So I just, I kind of feel like a genius and I kind of feel like a jackass all at the same time because I told you back in August that the Ravens were going to be really good this year. And
get back on.
They still, they arguably could still be undefeated. The team looks like, and they look scary. They can dominate either side of the ball.
It is very tough. The thing is that Lamar has to stay healthy. That's it. The last 2 years when he hasn't stayed healthy.
You can say that about every team with a good quarterback.
Of course. Even Brock Purdy?
Yeah, you could say that if the Chiefs lost Patrick Mahomes, right? You can say about any quarterback. If the Jaguars lose, Trevor Lawrence, and so on and so forth. So to argue that, they could be bad if so and so.
I know, but in the last couple of years, like 2 years ago, they lost like 8 straight when he was out. You know what I mean? So that's why.
If anything, it just shows your MVP thing should be a little stronger because when he doesn't play, they are way below.
Well, I agree. I was surprised it was 700. I thought it was a little bit higher. It'd be higher at the time, but we'll see what happens. I got a good number. We already talked about the Bills getting not destroyed. They actually were getting beat pretty bad in this game by 13 points, I think, at one time. Yeah. And then they came back to take the lead, and then they let the great Mac Jones go full field and get the touchdown. My guy. And Bill finally got his 300th win. So the Bills were 8.5-point favorites. They lost outright 29-25. that game-winning touchdown drive did it go to your guy Hunter Henry or something?
No, it went to Mike Gesicki.
Oh,
They grittied their way out of the end zone.
That's right.
Yeah, that beautiful gritty of theirs. So
There you go.
yeah.
And then I mentioned the Giants winning. I was on this a lot. I didn't, we had to kind of talk about a lot of picks, but I got action out of this one. Tyrod Taylor, dude, he's playing good. He played, mistake-free ball again. They had a fumble late in this game. This game was it was 14-7. They won the game, but they scored both touchdowns in the first half for the first time getting a first half touchdown in several weeks. But the defense is playing much better, and Washington didn't look great. They had one good drive at the end of the game, and they had a chance to tie it, I guess, in the last bit, but they fell short.
Yeah, to your point, like you said, Tyrod Taylor's playing well. He's not turning the ball over. They didn't have a debacle at the goal line at halftime, so that's good. That's a step in the right direction. Brian Dable didn't have to scream at anybody. It didn't look funny. So
his face was good.
He looks like he's going to have an aneurysm. He gets so red, like he gets redder than Andy Reid does, and I didn't think that was really possible because he looks like Santa out there. But
he does.
But no, I mean the Giants just goes to show their defense. I mean, it was a joke in the beginning of the year. Obviously, they're playing Sam Howell. And did you see Jonathan Allen after the game?
Oh yeah,
he's sick and tired of that shit or whatever it is. So new ownership obviously isn't going well, or we might see some changes there. But yeah, no, they didn't beat themselves. They got a big game against the Jets this week, so we'll see what happens. Yeah,
a home game for both teams.
Can't hold anything back.
That's right. So Seattle, we talked about them a little bit last week. We did take them in the contest mainly because, as we kind of been talking about, Arizona's a team to fade right now. It's a little sad. My early team, but I will tell you, the Seattle did everything they could to lose this game. They had 3 turnovers in this game, especially in the plus territory. They were able to get the number. I was sweating this one. It was they got a field goal late to get the 20-10 win and cover the 7.5 because they were just sitting on that 7. I mean, and Arizona doesn't score in the second half anymore. It's like they score early in the first half, and they're like, guess what, guys? No more run, no more passing. We're just going to hand the ball off and throw it short. So. Seattle gets the cover. That was maybe a little lucky for us on our part.
Yeah. Well, if you also remember, somebody on this podcast, I think, picked Seattle to win the NFC West. So
I know you did that. Well, it might work out with injuries.
We'll see what happens.
What about this game? I don't want to rub this one in, but Philadelphia played Miami. We had a little back and forth on Instagram for a minute. But, look, this one played out the way I kind of saw it. It was a little physical game by Philly. The Eagles really kind of took Miami out of their offense and their rhythm. Give the Dolphins credit. They played really good defense. They got 2 big turnovers. One was a fumble that led to a field goal. The other was a pick 6. Otherwise, they really didn't muster much offense. They lost the game 31-17. It was closer than that. It was like really 31, it was 24-17 a lot, and they got that late score. But Philly, they took care of business, and the Birds got the win in Philly.
Yeah, I would say that Raheem Mostert ran the wrong route 3 times, and that cost the Dolphins 14 points.
Oh, wow.
If you watch the Darius Slay interception, which kind of changed the changed momentum of the game for sure. I think that was a big play, obviously. But Raheem Mostert is, literally the only reason why just Darius Slay was looking back is because Raheem Mostert.
And Coop is on the let's ban the tush push.
No, I mean, I don't really mind it. If anything, I feel bad for Jason Kelsey because that guy's got to have like a car on him. Yeah, he's got to have just the old rugby scrub. But I mean, I don't know if I'm against it. I mean, yeah, it is kind of redundant, but I don't know. I mean, they do it well, and obviously it can't be implemented or I
don't know. There was discussion about it. It's like you can't push somebody else who does. I don't know, whatever. We'll see. They'll legislate it in the offseason, I'm sure.
But the Eagles had 0 penalties and the Dolphins had 10. So it's hard to beat the Eagles and the refs at the same time. So
well, we'll see. They got a chance to.
They did play well. They had a chance. I think they had a chance to be in that game. I think the score is obviously one thing, but I think the momentum swing. If the ball bounces one way or the other. Tua didn't play that bad. I think, in my opinion, with a couple backup linemen and. It's just good that they look competent and they look like Mike McDaniel is building in the right direction. So they don't look like those Dolphins. These are new Dolphins. Okay. So even though it's a loss, we're still optimistic. We're getting Jeff Wilson Jr. back, so hopefully we get a running back that runs the right. Well, he runs the right routes and pass, so that'll help.
Okay, so then a couple other games. You went with the Bucs, I believe, over Atlanta. I could be wrong there. Don't always pick against Jimmy Wags. Atlanta was the right side in this one. They actually played pretty well in this one. Desmond Ridder is looking better. The problem is hang on to the football if you're going in to score because he fumbled at the 1-yard line this game. Otherwise, it would have been a bigger advantage. I don't know. The Bucs train, they're going to kick off already in a couple minutes. I think it's kind of running aground here, but they did win only 16-13 in Atlanta. Younghoe Koo is like Mr. Clutch game-winning field goal because they never try to push down the field. But,
without him, they would be 2-5
exactly
instead of what 4-3.
Or 4-3.
Yeah, they would definitely be 2-5 without Coop.
AFC South ticket still active.
Yeah, AFC or NFC. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I will say I don't know. I have no words to say about Atlanta. I don't know how they're winning games, and I hope they don't make the playoffs. They're going to be so boring to watch.
They'll make the playoffs. They'll just get beat.
It's going to be so boring to watch. So it's hard to watch.
They'll get nuked by somebody.
Hard to watch them play football. It's tough. It really is.
Yeah. Last one we mentioned, the Pittsburgh. We both got Pittsburgh right on this one. It's funny. First of all, Tomlin hasn't lost out of a bye for since 7 years now that he's won the game out of the bye. That's just his thing. But also, the Steelers' offense is really weird. They don't score much in the first half, and then late in the game, they open up the playbook. So Canada did do better, but they had to get 21 fourth-quarter points to make this happen. I noted that Deontay Johnson did seem to make the offense a little bit better. Maybe that helps kind of the short, intermediate throws that Pickett needs to play, and then opens the game up for Pickens. So they won the game 24-17 in this one.
And they actually controlled the line of scrimmage a little better, which obviously helps in the long run. They could run the football, So Pittsburgh's coming around. We had some maybe an indigestion in our bellies in the beginning of the season. We're talking about.
We'll talk about them this week. They're going to be loving Jags. I mean, it's like two children. Who am I going to choose?
Yeah, right. Your prince and your ugly stepchild. So. But no, the Pittsburgh's coming around. I think if they can stay healthy, obviously the defense is always going to keep them in the game.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Week 8 preview. We'll talk about injuries first and then the lines. First of all, the Bills, these injuries continue. It sucks. Dawson Knox hurt his wrist. He's going to be out for a while, not immediately, but not for he might be on IR for 4 weeks, but that sucks because I really like that player, but also that 2 tight end set. It's not possible. The second tight end's also out. All they've got is Kincaid, so they're probably going to have to do 3 wide receiver sets now, back to last year's offense.
Yeah, you could do more of Shakir was a nice little flex tonight if you're looking for a touchdown prop. Maybe I thought about it. I dabbled with that idea. Yeah, it might be teasing the folks at home, but no, I definitely. I mean, they might run the ball a little bit more too. You might see more of the zone scheme. So, but I think with the Bucs defense is still a little banged up in the secondary, so it could definitely be a Josh Allen night as well.
It's always a Josh Allen night. He's got to do it.
Right.
But 49ers continue to have some issues. They played Monday night. We didn't mention that. They lost outright in the game to Minnesota. I did hit Jordan Addison first touchdown prop.
Yeah, you did.
I should have done the 2 touchdown prop.
You should have.
That one play was awesome.
You could have double dipped.
But apparently Brock Purdy had a concussion. I mean, he never came out of the game.
No, but he did get whacked in that QB sneak or whatever. I remember seeing it live in the game, and I remember it was like, wow, he got really popped.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the independent neurologist pulling him off the field? So he's actually in the protocol. It's very likely that Darnold's going to start this game, and that's why the lines come down. So that's key. We'll talk about that in a minute. Debo looks like he's going to miss the game as well. Trent Williams, I don't know if he's practicing or not. So you got to watch that, because I will say
he's trending to be out.
Minnesota was like, I thought their defense sucked, and they didn't have their best pass rusher. They were getting after Purdy like crazy.
Yeah.
So look out. With Trent Williams out there, it's a big difference for that line. Giants, I don't know. Why would you go back to Daniel Jones? I already might start this week. He's not on the injury report. Why don't you just stick with Tyrod? They're winning. They're playing better.
Because they're paying him $40 million.
God, why do they do that? Anyway, Justin Fields is out again, so you get the Badgent Express goes out there.
Is that his nickname? Okay, you made it up. All right. I was like, is that his nickname? Like, that's okay.
And then it looks like Jimmy G is slated to play this week for the Raiders. So that's Monday Night Football. Okay. His back's going to be okay. What about the Browns? Watson.
This is a joke.
So in the game, we didn't talk about that. In game, he gets knocked out in the first quarter, which, mind you, I started him in fantasy. Nice. But he's out again. It's a little confusing. I guess he's out because he got hurt in the game. But I don't know. This dude just doesn't want to play, man. I'm not saying he's not hurt right now, but it's just weird. And then P.J. Walker's in again. But more importantly, Jerome Ford is out. He hurt his ankle really badly. And then Kareem Hunt, he didn't practice. He's supposed to play, but he's going to be dinged up. It's not the same Browns we saw a couple weeks ago.
No, but they still won. They're winning games. Deshaun Watson, I guess the rumor was when he got misdiagnosed that he had a shoulder sprain or something like that. And they tried to bring him back too quickly or something along those lines. So we'll see with that. But they're stuck. They can't do anything with that contract. So he's either going to sit there and rot or he's going to have to play. So It's just PJ Walker didn't look bad against the Colts though. So
fine.
if they can, they're as long as their offensive line is attacked, I feel like they have a chance to win games with that defense. You just can't beat themselves.
Play in Seattle. We'll talk about that in a minute.
They're like are they a poor man's Jets or are they a rich man's Jets? Would you say?
Well, the defense is better than the Jets, so maybe the Jets are a poor man's Browns.
Okay. Just to thought, I feel like they're very close carbon copies of each other.
They are very close, very close. All right, so then we've got the Chiefs. They lost linebacker Nick Bolton, who's really good on defense. He broke his wrist, so he's out at least for several weeks. It's too bad. Their defense is still pretty good. I mentioned also the Rams. Last week they missed the 2 running backs, the 2 top guys, and it seemed to matter against the Steelers. But those guys are up on IR now. And how about the Titans? Are they really going to start Will Levis? I heard Tannehill's going to be. He's not practicing. He's questionable, but I heard he's not going to play. It's either going to be Will Levis or Malik Willis, or get this, both of them at the same time. I guess they're both going to play in this game. It's going to be like a high school team. Hey, we're going to run this play. Let's run this play. I mean, isn't that the other team's going to figure that out, right?
No, because I mean, if the Titans can't even figure it out, how's the other team going to figure it out? So I kind of like the strategy by Vrabel. We're going to
bold strategy.
We're going to confuse them by confusing yourselves. I mean, it makes sense to me. It's kind of genius in a way.
Yeah,
I feel Mike McDaniel would approve of it, honestly.
Well, sure. If either of these guys had any kind of skills. Let's go into the lines now, Coop. We've got tonight's game is obviously just about to kick off. Tampa Bay against Buffalo. It's 9.5. Actually, the last time I saw it was 10 for Buffalo. Big number. At home, 43.5 point total. You've got 65 and clear skies. It's a beautiful night in Buffalo. Look, in my contest is 8.5. I did pick Buffalo for all those people still listening, trying to get their last pick on my pool. I don't know. I don't feel great about them covering these big numbers. I mean, Tampa's not playing great, but Buffalo's defense is compromised. Up to 10 points, I don't know, dude. It's more of a stay away, but I probably would take the Bucs again with 10 points, even though we know when the Bills win, they usually win big, except against the Giants.
Except against the Giants. That is -10, by the way. I'm looking at it right now. This one is a tough stay away because the biggest thing with me is that there's like an all-pro or a key piece missing on that defense for Buffalo. Like literally every position group, whether it's D-line, linebacker, or Tre'Davious White, or whatever. So
every level.
I can see Mike Williams having a big night. I can see Chris Godwin having a big night. I can see
Mike Evans.
Yeah, hold your breath. What did I say?
Williams.
Oh, did I say Mike? Yeah, well, he's hurt. Shout out to him. Hopefully he's doing well. But yeah, no, Mike Evans.
Did you get the fruit basket?
Yes, exactly. Hopefully, it could be a Mike Evans night. It could be a Chris Godwin night. And, hold your breath. Maybe the Buccaneers maybe run the ball tonight. You never know. Could be the first time since before Brady was even there. But you're right. I think this is a classic stay away. I would definitely take the over here. I think this is definitely, it's only 43.5, which I could see them being at 20 to, halfway there, if not at halftime.
I did do Gabe Davis first touchdown.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Only 750, I think, plus 750.
Okay.
Which is kind of low. I thought it'd be like.
I wonder what Kincaid. Yeah, I wonder what Kincaid is at. That might be
1,000.
That one's probably the unpopular one. Or Kate Otten. He could be another.
That's your guy, Kate Otten. I'm waiting for him to hit me and to text me. Hey, I told you. Boom. Both goes to dynamite. I only bet it 17 times.
Yeah, that's my guy. So.
Well, let's go to the next game. You mentioned already the Jets are going to the Giants, meaning the field will say Giants, but it's a home game for both teams. So the Jets are 3-point favorites at this neutral site. 36.5 point total. You got some showers, 40 to 60% showers, but a nice warm one, 61. Look, on the first cut, I like the Jets in this game. I do think the Giants are playing much better. I liked it a lot better when it was 2.5, though. 3 full field goal. The only thing is they're coming out of the bye. The Jets, hopefully, with their offense will be a little bit better and a little bit healthier on defense. So if I took a side, I'm going to take the Jets, but I don't feel great about it.
I like the Jets because the Giants stink at home. That's they don't play well at home.
Well, it could be kind of a road game.
I guess it could be, and I guess if Daniel Jones is playing, I am riding with the Jets. I can see the Jets. The line of
scrimmage.
Didn't the
Giants win last week at home?
But that's not with Daniel Jones. It's a totally different team with Daniel Jones at home.
Good point.
So, Danny Jones is a good quarterback on the road. He loves being away from MetLife, not in MetLife. But no, I like the Jets here too. I think the difference is going to be their line play. Yeah. I think their defensive line is going to be able to control the game. The 36.5 point total. That is just
so low.
I have no idea what to do with that. That looks like a trap number, honestly.
So let's talk about the Giants defending Breece Hall, because it's not really about Wilson. Can they stop the run?
I mean, they did pretty well last week against Brian Robinson.
They did.
You would argue that's.
It's going to be
the weather's going to
interesting
dictate
game.
I feel like the weather's going to lead to that as well with the rain. So
yeah. I mean, look, in general, 36.5, you usually want to go over a total like that, but yeah. So okay, we're both
a defensive
on that
touchdown very very easily gets you to the over.
Yeah,
so.
the slop. It's going to be a slop. All right, so now we've got Houston coming off the bye, playing in Carolina. Carolina also off the bye, actually. So Houston's a 3-point favorite on the road, 43.5-point total. 84 and sunny. Sounds beautiful in Carolina. All right, I'm going to say a very unpopular pick. It's not in my top 5, by the way, but Carolina has sucked. We all know they've sucked. They haven't won a game. I don't know if you knew that.
Wow.
But they're switching over play calling duties away from Frank Reich, finally, to the actual offensive coordinator. I think they're going to play better this week. Okay. Even though Houston's been my darling, you know that I'm like on board with Houston.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna lose this game. This is my money line pick of the week.
This is your underdog, Jimmy Wegs, Jimbo Wegs.
Dogs are barking. You know Zach Suter, Rainmaker?
Yeah.
He's always sending me the dog video, like
the memes. The
gifts. Like the gifts are like first it's a little poodle, then a couple in it. He's got the Doberman.
I think he was the one sending him the Thursday night game for the Bears, right?
Yes, he was. I'm like, you're actually on the podcast. Right
now. Mid game.
So I think Carolina's got a good shot in this one. So I would favor that.
I struggled with this. The one thing I came back to is that Dameon Pierce hasn't had like his game yet. True. And I think this could be a good opportunity for Houston to establish the run.
You said a small Carolina front.
Yeah, CJ Stroud's obviously played well this year, but I think this could be, like I said, the Dameon Pierce party where they come out and control line of scrimmage, dominate the game. I like them to win. I like them to cover. I actually like the under here. I think this is going to be a defensive battle. It's going to be like a 17-10, 17-14 game.
It's a good point. CJ Stroud against Bryce Young in this one. This is an interesting matchup. Why isn't this on Monday Night Football?
Because we've got Jared Goff. Duh.
I know. Okay, so the next game,
machine.
The cover machine, is the Rams are going to Dallas. Dallas is a 6-point favorite at home, 45-point total. Well, let me put a couple things in the contest at 6.5, by the way. So Circa's anticipating the bets to go to Dallas's way. And I'm on board with that because Dallas at home is a different team, really good in Jerry's world. And I think the Rams are trending in the wrong way. So I'm all over Dallas in this one. I feel like I'm you. Come on, let's go favorites. -6.5. Let's go.
Man, this one's tough. Sorry, I had a piece of ice
stuck
in my mouth.
I think okay.
I didn't want to start coughing, but this one's tough. I keep struggling with the Rams. I think they're a good team. They have the coach. When Matt Stafford's not pressured,
right,
he's really good. When he gets pressured, he's really bad. So it comes down to, okay, if the team they're playing is going to be able to bully their offensive line, he's not going to be very good. And if they don't bully them, it'll be fine. So on paper, this is probably arguably one of the worst matchups for him.
Yep.
So I would probably ride Dallas. To your point, they are better in Jerry's world. They're like 21 and 4 in their last 25 in Jerry's world.
They only lose the 49ers there.
Yeah, right. So I'm with you. I think you've got to ride Dallas. I think they're the healthier of the two squads too. Like you said, they're not going to have running backs for the Rams. Who is it? Cam? No, it's
I don't know who it is.
Myles Gaskin, maybe.
No, they brought Royce Freeman.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, they brought guys. They brought 2 new guys in.
Yeah,
they brought in Myles Gaskin and Royce Freeman. They said the Zach, whatever his name is, Zach Brown, Jack Johnson, I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah.
I picked him up. They're like, oh, his projection dropped. What happened? I get benched. So, what are you gonna do? Okay, so the next one, Minnesota at Green Bay. NFC North here. So we've got this says Green Bay -1. I don't think that's right. Is that right? Are they favored? I thought it was the other way around.
Minnesota's -1.5.
Okay. So I mislabeled it. Maybe I put it in. So this has been hovering around that one, pick 'em. In the contest, it's actually a pick 'em.
Wow.
So that's why Jimmy Wegs is all over Minnesota in this one. I know it's weird. I don't like rooting for Minnesota, but I've done it 2 weeks in a row. Look, they kind of showed me something. I don't understand this team because I thought they're going to tank. Yeah. Aren't you guys going to tank? Now they're talking about maybe we're going to get Derrick Henry. Wait, slow down here. But the truth of the matter is they're still not out of the mix. If they beat Green Bay here, they can still make the playoffs. And Green Bay, let's face it, I can't back them anymore, man. Denver, they couldn't beat Denver.
Yeah.
God, it was the same bullshit. Jordan Love, I know you hate him. Threw another pick.
I like hate is a strong word.
Let's do this again. Oh, another pick on the final drive. This is what he does every week. So
yeah.
I can understand if you want to take the dog as Lambeau is a great place to play, but I think Minnesota's going to win this game. Obviously, in our contest, it's a pick. They're favored by 1 right now, 41.5-point total. I think it's also an under game.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I actually agree with everything that you just said, which doesn't happen very
What's
regularly on
going
this
on?
podcast. Yeah, I know this
Well,
is
it's a
getting
favorite-ish guy.
this is getting weird. So everybody at home, if you want your mortal lock of the weekend, take the Packers because I think Minnesota's going to win this game too. I think there's a coaching mismatch. I think there is a trust mismatch at quarterback.
Sure.
Jordan Love, I think all the criticize is earned. He's been there for 3 years. Like you can't say he's really a young rookie quarterback anymore.
Right.
I mean, not maybe you could say he's young, but he's been there for 3 years. You get to watch Aaron for a minute. So the fact that they still look pedestrian on offense, it looks like they're almost like holding him back and like keeping him kind of like on training wheels for metaphor.
The first half, they don't score. They never score in the first half. What the hell are they doing in the second half? Oh, let's run some plays. Like I don't know what LaFleur is doing. I mean, admittedly. Aaron Jones, of course, his health is important. Last week he was on a pitch count, so that did hurt them. When he was playing, I'm like, oh my God, they're moving the ball.
Right.
Take him out. Look, I like what's the other dude, Dylan, but he's like a beast. He's like a plotter. You need some quickness in that line, and I'm with it, man. So there you go.
Yeah.
The lock of the week is the opposite pick.
Yeah,
so
it's the Packers.
So then the next game we got New Orleans at Indy. This is another one that's hovering around that, obviously -1, +1, wherever it is. Right now, Indy is favored by 0.5 point, 43.5 point total. Weird spot. This is the Jimmy Wegs stay away of the week. Sorry, guys. I don't know. Like Indy kind of baffled me last week in Action's defense, even though he's a homer for the Colts. He was all over the Colts, and they did cover that game against the Browns. I don't like Minshew, but New Orleans shows me every week that they can't play very well. So if it's a coin flip game, if I had to pick it, maybe I'd take Indy, but I just stay away from this game. Put it on the side. Hopefully it's not in the bar when I go. I don't want to see this game at all. It's horrible. So
that's a great color matchup. What do you mean?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, what does the color matchup tell us?
What do you mean? It's going to be a great color matchup. I think I'm with you. I think I'd ride with the Colts. I think I almost trust Gardner Minshew more than I trust Derek Carr at this point. I think the line play is actually favors the Colts. I could see, I think on both sides of the ball, their offensive line is, obviously it's not what it used to be, but I think it's almost better than the Saints at this point. So, I can see the Colts. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor's been kind of getting work back into the offense. Yeah, the office.
He's in the office.
Yeah, he's in the office. He's putting his reps in. I wonder what he squats, but. I like the Colts at home. They got Blue. He's going to be throwing the ball, from like the third.
What did you think about those unis last week?
No, yeah, that's right. The all blacks. I still think they need to go with the black. Well, they went all black with the blue helmet. And they need to either go all black with the black helmet.
Where does this go? It has never been in their color family. What are we doing?
I don't know. I don't know where the black came from, to be honest. We'll have to get them on Twitter.
They kind of look like the Titans or the Ravens at the same time.
And the Falcons all mixed together.
That's terrible.
Right.
All right, so we've got New England going to Miami down south. This is South Beach. Miami's a 9-point favorite, 45.5 point total. 83 and cloudy, 50% chance. 17-mile-an-hour winds. Whoa. Yeah. This did move the total down from what I saw. Do you think Mac Jones can do it again against the mighty Miami defense?
I'm taking the over. We have a rule. We have a rule on this podcast. We take every Miami over.
But it didn't go over last week, right?
I don't know if it did or not.
I think it was 48, right on the number, right?
It might have been, yeah.
Maybe 48.5 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But what do you think? I mean, I like Miami in this one, but it is a big number for a division game, as I've always discussed. I just don't believe in Mac Jones. I know that, we'll see what happens, but Miami also, they didn't get embarrassed, but they're going to want to bounce back. But 9 points, God, it's too many points, dude. I got to stay away.
I think this defense is coming together. I think they've shown all year that they dominate the bad teams, and then they struggle with the quote unquote good one. So, this is obviously another bad team.
Hey.
They're gonna. I think you can feel comfortable taking Miami in a bounce back spot. Yeah. I think Jeff Wilson's gonna have a good game. Miami's defense, I think right now you could say is probably better than Buffalo's just from a health standpoint.
Sure.
Obviously, they say Vic Fangio is just the most complicated system to learn on defense because everybody moves after the snap. So as we go along throughout the year, they should get better. Yeah. Again, Jalen Ramsey's back at practice, so we'll see.
Jalen Ramsey, wow.
Watch. Oh, and Xavier Howard practiced.
Okay, that's better.
That helps as well. But I would feel comfortable taking Miami. I think this is their throwback game, so I think they're going to wear the old unis. I hope.
Nice.
So. Yeah,
that's your favorite.
That's the word on the street. So yeah, I would ride with Miami and take the over. Why not?
Okay, there you go.
So this is the game of the weekend in my opinion, though, right here.
This one?
Oh yeah.
This is my two kids. It's the kids fighting in the backyard. You got Jacksonville against the Steelers at the Steelers. Jacksonville's 2.5 point favorites on the road, 41 point total. 8-mile-an-hour winds, 64 and rainy. Look, this is a tough one. I love, first of all, I really love the Jags. I've got all these tickets. I got the Jags ticket, most wins, and they're still in the mix. But the Steelers, come on, dogs at home. Ugh, you got to go with friggin' Tomlin, dude. You can't do it. You can't go against Tomlin. He's getting points at home. I know that the Jags are probably better, but I just see that, especially if it's raining, you're going to see Trevor Lawrence turn the ball over twice, and he played great on Thursday, and he got extended rest for his knee. But
yeah.
I'm on the Steelers. Everybody's dogging the Steelers offense. It does suck. Kenny Pickett does suck. We all know this, but from one way or another, this team just rallies when they're dogs, and I'll take the 2.5 and Pittsburgh, one of my top 5.
Would you say this is a must win for Pittsburgh or a can't lose for Jacksonville?
I don't think it's either.
Okay.
I mean, Jags are.
I struggle with this. I think
the Jags are 5-2. They're 2 games.
No, because Pittsburgh's 4-2. They had a bye.
Right.
Yeah.
But the Jags are 5-2. I know that Houston's 3-3. They've got a little bit of a cushion there, even though they lost to Houston head-to-head. Pittsburgh, look, AFC's tough. We all know this. Pittsburgh needs this game more than them. Of course they do, because the division's loaded.
Right.
And we'll talk about the Bengals in a minute. You've got the Ravens are at 5-2, so they're at 4-2. The Browns are 4-3, right? Or they have a bye already?
No, I thought they had a bye. Didn't they just come off a bye? They're 4-2.
They're 4-2. So okay. So in other words, Pittsburgh's got to keep winning.
Right.
Jacksonville can still win the division with losing. So Steelers need it more, but does that matter? I don't know.
I feel like Pittsburgh's really struggled at home, and I think I had that first stat when they lost to San Francisco the first week, that they were in September and October their winning percentage was like 52%, and then from November on they were like 68% or something like that. So I think I'm going to ride with Jacksonville this week. I think I'm switching on a pick that I made, but no, I think I did. I can't remember. I did this in my mind, but. Jacksonville. I think I'm going to ride with Jacksonville this week. I think I definitely get the better quarterback. I think they can actually run the ball, which can neutralize the pass rush. Yep. Travis Etienne has scored 2 touchdowns, I think, in 3 straight games. So
he's on the fantasy squad.
He's probably carrying you right now. So
I got Trevor too, though. That's not a good idea to do that, but
nice little stack. I mean, it's not bad. But I think if we were to redraft fantasy, like right now, I mean, Travis Etienne would probably be running back number 2 after Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. So. But no, I'm riding with Jacksonville. Hopefully they wear the aquas or the teal on the road in Pittsburgh. I think that'd be nice with the yellow terrible towel.
Yeah.
Good little contrast. Yeah. Or even if they went like old school Jags with like the gold helmet,
Oh, the gold ones.
Yeah. With the black unis. Jacksonville's got a lot of fun like alternate.
Well, because you got to sell something with that.
Well, they got to move it to London, and
That's right.
It's all about the color scheme.
That's right. All right. The next game is Atlanta at Tennessee. This one's an interesting matchup for a couple of reasons. We talked already about the quarterback situation for Tennessee, but obviously, Arthur Smith was coaching with Tennessee and was the sledgehammer, offense with Derrick Henry. So we'll see how that works out. Atlanta enters as a 3-point favorite on the road, 35.5-point total, super low. Looks like it's pretty good weather, though, 80s and overcast, 8-mile-an-hour winds. On paper, I've got to take Atlanta here, but this is the Jimmy Wegs. I look at the metrics. I look at the metrics all day. Atlanta's a better team. Ritter's playing better. The defense is playing good for Atlanta. But to me, this is a Vrabel game. They're coming off the bye. He's going to have these crazy quarterbacks, and nobody knows what's going to happen. They're going to play an incredible game. It's going to be ugly football. The game's going to be 17 all going into the fourth quarter, and hopefully they win the game. So I'm not picking in my top 5, but I would take Tennessee plus the 3.
I'm with you. I'm riding with
What?
Vrabel
You're
this
taking
week.
a dog?
Yeah, I'm taking Vrabel this week. I like the mobile quarterback. I think they like to run the ball at their core, and I think adding a mobile quarterback, whether it's Levis or Malik Willis, will add a dimension to that run game, because the rushing yards allowed, Atlanta is one of the better teams. I think they only allow like 96 yards per game, but I also think they don't play a lot of mobile quarterbacks. I mean, they play a lot of passing quarterbacks. So sit in the pocket kind of guys like Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield.
It may be a fun game for Tennessee's offensive coordinator. Like, let's do some crazy stuff here. And, Derrick Henry is going to be dominating because that's what he's going to do.
With a 35.5 point, I could definitely see that over. I like that over. Yeah. I was going to say, there's no weather really going to be involved. Yeah. So, I could definitely. Is that in the 4 o'clock window, by the way? No, it's a noon game. It's a 1 o'clock game. So,
by the way, we don't have to go on a total aside. It's a long podcast, but why the hell is there no buys in week 8? I don't understand this. There's buys in week 14 in the fantasy playoffs, but there's no buys in week 8. Who the hell is making this damn schedule? It makes no sense. So that's why it's such a long slate. Yes, we're still in the 1 o'clock window. Let's go to the last 1 o'clock game. Philadelphia at Washington, NFC East division rival here. We know what happened a couple weeks ago. Philly was laying a pretty big number. I think it was 8.5 or something at Washington or at home against Washington. Now they go to Washington. Philly is a 7-point favorite on the road, 43.5-point total. I told you to take Washington last time when they played, but I can't do that in good conscience right now with Howell. They're not one of my top 5 picks, but I think Philadelphia is going to lay the wood on this one. Even though there's been a matchup problem with Washington for whatever reason, I think that there's some issues there in Washington. I said this on record. I'm not trying to put it out for Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron, as they call him. I think he's going to get fired this year. I think he's starting to get the slide, and I think this game's going to be pretty bad. I think Philly's going to blow him out.
Yeah, I think there's starting to be some when you have one of your leaders, your captain, coming out saying he's tired of this shit. So I just definitely you usually don't see that.
Yeah.
And especially
there's a tremor in the force.
Right. So I think that's definitely a clear indication of what's going on behind the scenes. And that and with the struggling offense, it doesn't help either because they brought in Eric Bieniemy to not have a struggling offense.
Right.
So and they scored 7 points last week. So
well, they can't score in the first half again. It's the same shit. It's like some of these teams cannot score in the first half, and they have great second halves. It's the same thing every week.
It's crazy to think that all the stuff that's supposed to be on script is in the first half.
Right.
And then the teams struggle with that. But then they get off script and it works out better. So that's I think it just goes to show there's some people, just like any industry, some people are good at their job, some people kind of suck at their job. So
some people are good at improvisation.
Yeah, some people are good at podcasting, some people are kind of like us. It just happens sometimes. But no, I'm with you. I think it's gonna be a bloodbath. I see Philly dominating the game. I think they're gonna run the ball quite a bit. I think Jalen Hurts is a little bit banged up, so I think there's gonna be quite a two-headed monster running back this week. I think you can play Swift and Gainwell. So I think it's gonna be a big
jam it down their throats.
Yeah.
All right, so now we finally get to the 4:00 window. Cleveland is at Seattle. We've talked about the Cleveland issues. We've got PJ Walker on the road. Seattle's a 3.5-point favorite at home, 38-point total. This is was it 53? Okay, you switched up on me. So it's 53 is a 10 and 6-mile-an-hour wind. So it's going to be a beautiful day in Seattle.
Partly cloudy, oh yeah.
Partly cloudy, of course. 3.5. Hate the hook. I like Seattle in the game. Hate the hook. They always say fans are Joe's bet teams, pros bet numbers is what they say.
You tell me.
Yeah. I'm not really a pro, but 3.5 is a terrible number. I don't care who they're playing, especially at home. You should be a bigger favorite or right on the 3. Cleveland's defense, we know what they can do. Seattle's playing really good defense too. So this is stay away at number 2 for Jimmy Wags because I'm not sure what the hell's happening in this game.
I like Cleveland with that number. I'm with you.
Okay.
I like Cleveland. I like the defense. Though people think Geno isn't playing that well, actually a lot of the metrics are pretty right on par. They're just not scoring the touchdowns as much as they did last year.
Right.
So I think that's another reason why they're going to win the NFC West. I like Seattle to win, but I like Cleveland to cover that number.
So you like that, yeah. You got 3. They'll win by 3 points.
Yeah,
you're good.
I do. I think Seattle's going to win by 3. It's probably going to be 27, 24. Okay. But I can see Cleveland hanging around.
It's a big total, 51. It's over. It's an over.
Yeah, I can see it's going to happen. That's not a guess. That's what it's going to be.
Oh, okay. Put that exact score in there.
I hope it happens.
Yeah, plus 1,500 or something. All right, here we go. So now we've got Baltimore at Arizona. Again, late window. Baltimore's an 8.5-point favorite on the road, 44-point total. What am I going to say about this game? It's in my top 5 mainly because Baltimore, it's not even really about Baltimore. It's more about Arizona. We've kind of talked about it. They're giving it up, especially in the second half. So as long as Baltimore's not down by a score or 2 in the first half, they're going to roll in this game. I can see that Baltimore could take their foot off the gas pedal, not cover 8.5. I think in the contest it's 9.5. So
wow,
that's a big number to cover. But I believe that Baltimore can cover it. If Seattle can cover it, I mean, haven't they covered? Arizona's now lost 3 or 4 against the spread. So I'm sticking with that trend. Maybe Ashton will agree with me. I like Baltimore in the contest minus 9.5 or 8.5 if you get it in the market.
Yeah, I'm with you. Would you say Arizona's easy then, since they're giving it up pretty frequently? Is that what you would say?
Okay. They're easy. That's exactly what we were talking about before the podcast.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. No, I'm with you. I like Baltimore.
They're not easy. They're easy.
Right. Well, you were the one that said they were giving it up, so I just wanted to make sure that I was following you correctly. I like Baltimore as well. I think they're going to get back to, like you said, Tom Munkin's offense. Lamar Jackson's been playing really well. I think this is going to be a game where he might actually get to sit the fourth quarter out.
Right.
I would take Baltimore first. You say that, Arizona's been pretty frisky in the first half. I would take them first. I would take Baltimore first half even.
Look at you.
Getting out to a big total. I think it's going to be a pretty sequel of what we saw last week against the Lions. So I'm with you. I think Arizona's going to be too focused on the Diamondbacks. All that good mojo is with the Diamondbacks right now.
That's true.
And with the D-backs, and there can't be a whole city on them. Arizona can't have all the mojo. They can only
that's why Philly. You can't have the Phillies and the Eagles.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
Right. So everything in my loins tells me that Baltimore is going to go with it. They wouldn't steer me wrong.
I tried to ignore that. Anyway, Kansas City at Denver here. Kansas City's a 7.5-point favorite on the road at Denver, 45.5 total. I heard, as you put, there could be snow showers.
Yeah, breaking moves, the first snow game of the year.
Wow.
Get excited.
So does that change your handle? I mean, Kansas City's clearly the better team. 7.5. Last week I was worried about the Chargers, and they covered easily, meaning the Chiefs covered easily in that one. So Kansas City did give up some points early in that game against the Chargers. Denver is not the same offense, and we know how bad this defense is. So I can understand why you would back the Chiefs. I can't do it. It's just too many points in a division game, bro. I just can't do it.
Can't do it. Wow. You just talk yourself into. See, the problem is you always find the reason why it won't work instead of the reason why it will work. And this is why I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because it will work. They're used to the weather, so throw that out. They play in Kansas City. They play in the snow and the zero temperatures and everything.
Taylor Swift going to be at the game?
That's yet to be determined. I'm waiting for my sources to get back to me.
Because apparently, when she's there, Kelsey has big games. Like he's never had big games before.
Yeah, no, never. Honestly, Travis Kelsey was never relative or relevant until he started dating Taylor Swift.
Nobody knew who he was.
Yeah, and who's that guy? Anyway,
did
he change his number? No. Anyway, I almost forgot who he was. I knew his brother better, but no, I'm with KC. I think they're going to really establish it. They've beaten Denver 17 times in a row as well. So I think it make it 18. Andy Reid's gonna probably have a nice burger after the game, maybe an elk burger out there in Colorado, and it's gonna be a nice evening for Kansas City.
Okay, and I'm not against you on that. I just for the 5 when I was looking at the best picks, I'm like, I'm gonna take all these big favorites. No way. I'm not on that one. Okay, so here's what I would say game of the week, game of the year part 2. You like the Steelers game. I like this game if everybody was healthy.
Okay.
Cincinnati at San Francisco. This game opened up. I think it was actually San Francisco was like a 6-point favorite when I bet it at 5.5 for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Plus 5.5 already got in the pocket.
Nice.
So it's down to 3 now in the market. 43.5-point total. In the contest, it's 3.5, which is a little interesting. I'd be surprised if it gets bet up with Sam Darnold, but maybe that's just buyback on the Niners. Look, when you see those kind of movements, you have to identify why. One, we know it's Darnold. Yes. I actually just watched the games. I'm looking at San Francisco. When I was in the game, I'm watching the game. I'm like, what happened to this team that just dominated the Cowboys? Is it just Debo? I mean, there's a lot of guys hurt now, but they're not playing with the same energy on defense. They may do it in this game because the Bengals are a Super Bowl contender, but I do like the Bengals out of the bye too. So I would take them even at 3.5, which is a little tough for me given the situation. But I'm glad I have the 5.5 in my pocket, but I'm also recommending 3.5 as my top 5.
Has Joe Burrow beaten the
49ers?
Yeah, has he beaten the Niners this year? I know they lost last year, right? Because they lost in overtime.
Did they play them last year?
Yeah,
they haven't played them yet in his career.
Yeah, they did. They definitely played them. Yeah, was it last year or the year before? But
did they have like an extra game in the NFC?
Yeah, I almost think that they I know they played an overtime game. I know Jimmy G was the quarterback. I just can't remember if it was last year or the year previous.
You're right.
Oh, by the way, to make up for earlier, James Madison is the Duke dog.
Is their mascot. The picture of that little guy.
Just adorable. So
Duke dog.
Yeah, to go back to our James Madison.
You're right. They did play them in overtime. That's interesting. How did that game get scheduled? Because they play the same division twice. They must have been.
They played them in Cincinnati.
It was like a 17th game. They added a game. That's right. That might have been 2 years ago.
Career record.
Was it last year?
This is great live podcast.
Yeah, this is good. Good research we put together here.
Yeah. So no, he's 0-1. He's only played. This is the second career start against the 49ers.
That was 2001. So it was 2 seasons ago.
2021.
I remember that because when they were going to the Super Bowl. Right, they had a chance to play them again, but then the Rams won.
Yeah. So, but I struggled with this game too
Mhm.
but Bosa doesn't look the same either. I feel like he's kind of disappeared lately too.
Did you see him? He's on the sideline.
Yeah.
And they were
They take
talking
him out
about
of the
it.
game.
Now, when you watch the game, do you watch the main cast or
Yes.
the Manning cast?
No, I watched the Manning cast.
Oh, I love the Manning cast.
Because they're talking about having special packages for when Bosa
Yes.
goes out of the game.
Bosa's
to
off the
go
field.
deep.
Bosa's off the field. Go deep. And that's exactly what they did. I love
Yeah.
that Kirk Cousins did that.
Yeah.
You don't think that Joe Burrow's going to do that? The other thing is the defense. The Bengals defense is playing really good.
They are.
And granted, they have a bye. Maybe they lose some luster. But are they going to run the ball against the Bengals? I don't think they are.
Like, it's just so tough.
And Sam Darnold, I mean, look, they could rally behind the backup, but it's different. It's not like it's Badgett or Purdy or some guy like last year when Purdy came in. We've got to lift this guy up. Sam Darnold was like a top 3 pick. I don't think he's that good. So I don't know. I'm all over Cincinnati, bro.
Oh man,
It's okay. You don't have to pick it.
It's
You
tough.
can stay away.
it's so nice. Yeah, the Jimbo Wegs sit on the bench game. Man, no, I'm riding with the 49ers. I think
Okay.
Sam Darnold's a little bit more. I like his mobility more than Brock Purdy's mobility.
Okay.
I think that could be a big difference. I think he could extend some drive. That's what I think is going to be the backbreaking difference is whether Sam Darnold can use his legs to extend drives and keep those field goal possessions or whatever they turn out to be.
Yes.
Because I think that's going to be the big difference in the game is who puts the ball in the end zone
No,
more.
for sure.
Obviously, like every game, but that red zone efficiency when it comes down to these big teams like this is always the difference. But
The key matchup in this game is the 49ers defensive line against the Cincinnati offensive line. Joe Burrow's been getting hit every game.
Yeah.
If they can get to Burrow, they're going to stay in the game.
But he's that magical power of getting healthier playing football.
He does.
Think about that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's
He's
crazy.
had 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're against each other, and that means that's one of your picks. But let's go Sunday Night Football. Now, this is, and we'll talk later what the planner for the weekend, but I'm going to go to Four Shadows, but I can't be there all goddamn day. I mean, you got the Bears coming on for Sunday Night Football.
It's going to get.
I mean, am I going to be there at noon and leave at 10? It's a Sunday. I mean, I do have a job. But anyway, the Bears are going to the Chargers. Chargers are 8.5-point favorites at home, 46.5-point total. I've heard a lot of people say on the radio, this is a get-right spot for the Chargers. And I understand why they would say that because the Bears aren't that good and the Bears are riding high after the last game. But this is the friggin' Chargers, everybody. They can't cover a number. Tell me when the last time they've covered a number like this. I don't care who they're playing. It's Bears or pass here, brother. They're not my top 5, and I know it sounds like it's a homer pick, but the Chargers, they're just not right. They should be firing Staley, too. I don't know why they didn't fire him after last week, too. I thought he played terrible in the second half or coached terribly. So Bears or pass here, buddy.
No, I differ with you. So I would take the Chargers just because we're going against a Division II starting quarterback, and he threw for 162 yards last week.
That's
I think the Chargers defense might actually have some luck. They've statistically been better this year against the run than they ever have been in the past. So that gives me a little bit more hope and optimism for the Bears not to play as well. Obviously, Foreman played really well against the Raiders last week. I just don't foresee that happening again, even though he's on my fantasy team. Mm-hmm. So I see the Chargers a good get right spot for them. I don't think the Bears defense is going to have. Well, is this going to be a home game for Chicago, by the way? Probably.
Well, it probably is. I mean, I'm not going personally, but there's got to be more Bears fans than Charger fans.
We were invited. We had to politely decline.
One of my buddies, Aaron, his buddies go on a trip every year. I'm assuming this is where they're going. I have to text him because they was like, hey, where are we going to go this year? Nashville, whatever. I'm like, go to LA. I mean, it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the new stadium, too. They got fast turf out there for sure. So that's definitely different. But no, I'm with the Chargers this week. I think Eckler could have a big game. Yeah, I like it's a much better quarterback matchup, too. It is a big number, but if you're not, if you don't have like a little bit of anxiety in your belly, are you really living? Like, come on. So
what I will say is all these big numbers we're seeing this week, the 8.5s, the 9s, the 7.5s, tease that down if you like the team. Just tease it down. Because why sweat it out? I know you want to sweat it out. You've got the hoodie on, but I mean, get it down to 2.5. Win by the field goal. Don't worry about it. Just pair it up with a total that you like.
Pair it with a dog. With the Mike Tomlin dog barking of the week.
Dog barking.
You could even parlay the Steelers with the Titans and get like the mega ultimate dog. What would that be, like a Saint Bernard? Would you say?
Well, the Duke dog. That was called.
Yeah, the Duke dog.
That was called.
The bulldog, right?
Yeah, but it's
the Duke dog. Yeah, come on. So
look at that little guy. Anyway,
1947. They're the Dukes. So they're officially the James Madison Dukes, just for everybody keeping score at home.
My high school, York Dukes.
Yeah,
we didn't have a dog though. Okay, so Monday Night Football, Raiders at Detroit. Detroit coming off the shellacking at the Ravens. They need to bounce back here. 46-point total. Are we back to our guy covering numbers because 8.5 is a big number. Again, tease it down. But Raiders also got embarrassed and they quit. So here's the thing: what's going to give? Usually the bounce back situation is the team that got smashed is going to bounce back. Both teams got smashed. So what's going to happen in this game? I think Detroit's going to win the game. I'm putting it out there. If you do the stats, they're going to win and cover the game. I just 8.5. God damn it! Why do we make it do this every time?
It's like they know what they're doing.
Exactly. They know they make it so hard for us. Why can't you let us win money? Vegas, Rivers. I roll the bones. I win money. Can't I win on the picks?
Yeah, I just can't believe they make it that hard for you. That's unheard of.
So I guess what I'll do is I will have to lay it with Detroit. 8.5.
Yeah, I'm with
it's
you.
Terrible.
I'm with you. Do you know why? I think you predicted the future. I think you predicted the future 2 weeks ago. I think this is the Jahmyr Gibbs game.
Oh, good. Finally.
I think this is
Been
your
waiting
game.
for that.
I think this is your 2 touchdown. Remember that whole Jordan Addison thing? I think.
Oh yeah.
I think you might be on
first touchdown prop.
And I think
2 touchdown prop.
Yeah, I think this is a double dipper.
Yes,
I think this
let's
is
go.
Jahmyr Gibbs double dipper game. So David Montgomery was, I don't think he's questionable, but I think he's probably doubtful at this point. He's probably not going to play. So I like Jahmyr Gibbs in this game. I'm with the Lions. I think they're going to cover. They're at home. They're a completely different team playing at home in the Dome. They got embarrassed. You talk about a team that should have probably been taken to the shed earlier in the podcast.
Yeah. You should have put the Ravens in the Dub Club. I usually like the big groups.
They were flocking, So, but no, I like the Lions here. The defense has got something to prove. I think this is obviously a get right spot for them, and I think it can get ugly on Monday night. There hasn't been a lot of high scoring Monday night games. This might be one of them, like where it's a big separation.
We want to see right now. We're gonna do the 2 touchdown prop thing. It doesn't have it on here yet. Game touchdowns. Where's the TD? Oh my God!
No player.
It doesn't even have it. It doesn't have the player props yet.
Wow.
Those bastards.
You need a better bookie.
Exactly. I'm gonna go to Circa right now.
Yeah. So
Rivers.
much for that kind of sponsorship.
I do want your fleece though. All right, let's go over my top 5 this week. I like Baltimore minus 9.5 on the road. That's in the contest. It's 8.5 right now in the market. That's at Arizona. Dallas minus 6.5 against the Rams at home. Minnesota at a pick. Again, in the market, they're actually a favorite by 1. Pittsburgh plus 2.5 at home against the Jags, and Cincinnati plus 3.5 against the 49ers.
I've noticed that I flipped on that last pick too. So my 4.
You're a flipper.
Yeah, I'm a flipper. The more I think about it, but now I think when I did this, I was thinking more about the weather. But
Are you drunk?
No, actually, not at all. I was like drunk. Yeah, Wednesday at like 2:00. Yeah,
I mean,
it's been a long week, right? No, I'm just
judge.
kidding. I'm not drinking.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I'm not drinking in the middle of the day, Jim. That would be.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Anyway. For my Beaver Nation 4 picks, if you want to make money, just go against these. Detroit, I'm taking minus 8.5. We're going to ride with Tennessee this week. They're getting 3 points. That's my underdog of the week, sponsored by Jim Wegs.
Yep.
We're also going to ride with Houston at minus 3, and then we're going to ride with Seattle at minus 3.5 against Cleveland.
I don't mind these picks. They're not bad. I mean, they're against a couple of my picks, but I don't think it's a bad thing. You're gonna be fine.
We're gonna be fine. Yeah, we're gonna enjoy the ride. We're gonna have a smile on our face. It's just been. We're just gonna stick to college. But we're gonna stay in our lane.
All right, let's talk about the weekend. It's Halloween weekend. Chicago. The opening of the dating season is St. Patrick's Day. The closing is Halloween. They're 2 carnivals.
Okay.
Or 2 festivals.
That's how it works around here.
It is.
I had no idea.
This is a big weekend. So my costume is TBD. I did get some of the elements. Let's see if I can pull it off.
TBD.
It's a little secret, but I'll put some. You have to follow Instagram. I'll put it out there. You're saying Hag. I was not invited to Hags. I don't know what that is. So I'm going to Bryce's.
I think we're trying to do both.
Oh yeah, you should do both.
I'm a double dipper. So
I'm going.
I
think I told you I'm going to a housewarming at 7:00. There is no costumes allowed.
Oh really?
So I'm going to show up, go there for a while. It's not too far. I'm going to rush back here, change, and then go to Bryce's maybe like 10:30.
What are you changing into?
You'll have to find out.
I thought I could get you on that one. Okay. No, we'll see. I'm actually going goth, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. So fingernails and all.
I thought you meant Jared Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff. Yeah, actually, it was inspired by Jimmy Butler. So when I saw Jimmy Butler's media day, I was like, okay, I could definitely maybe rock.
Yeah,
do like some all black, get it going. So maybe some guy liner involved. So we'll see what happens. But Yeah, we're gonna check out Hags. We're doing breakfast Saturday morning. I don't know if you've ever been to the Honey Bear Cafe. Highly recommend it. That is actually in Rogers Park. No matter what.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's on Clark. Yeah.
So big fan, and then obviously we have Hamlin Saturday, obviously. So
some people
do a little volleyball. Yeah, I don't know why not.
Hey, November 18th, 19th, whenever that weekend, that'll be my first weekend back.
Gotcha. Okay, well, we'll keep that in mind. Everybody, all the hundreds of thousands of people listen to us, make sure we.
I'm not going to Hamlin.
Wigs to that. Okay. Yeah. Well, why not?
I don't play indoor, dude.
That's tough.
So then you got a boxing match here. Yeah. Tyson Fury versus, how do you say that?
Francis Ngannou.
Ngannou.
Yeah. You don't know Francis Ngannou?
I don't know Francis, no.
Oh, man. You should follow him on Instagram. Great follow.
Is he?
He was one of the UFC heavyweight champions.
Oh, good. He's a boxer.
No, he's UFC. He was a UFC fighter.
Okay.
But he's doing a boxing match with Tyson Fury.
Oh, so it's kind of like Thunderlips versus Rocky. It's a thing that, it's a spectacle.
It's too big, it's just two big heavyweight guys going,
So instead of having, what was it? It was Mayweather and Conor McGregor, now you've got, let's do this.
Yeah, Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou.
Well, those guys were little guys.
I can't believe you don't know Francis Ngannou.
I don't know Francis.
He was a big UFC man. We're gonna get you into UFC, James.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, Wags, come on, man.
Not gonna happen. When that guy got kicked, in one of the first fights, the guy kicked right in the balls. I was like, those guys don't wear cups. He's down there, and he was no mas. He got kicked right in the balls. He was done.
Wow, one of your first ever UFC fights?
Well, no, I watched on Saturday the first fight we were watching.
Oh, gotcha. Well, that's
kicked right in the friendlies.
Yeah, that's gonna right in the cashes and prizes.
Come on, right in the cashes plays. What are we doing here?
That's tough. That's the cashes. No, that's not Muhammad Ali. No, not him. Shout out to Muhammad Ali.
All right, so you're going golf, and then on Sunday.
Are we doing Four Shadows?
Can I interest you in actually showing up to Four Shadows this time? Are you going to be out so late?
No,
visiting your friend Molly and not being able to make it.
No, we should be all right. We should be good for Sunday. Should be able to pencil us in.
Oh yeah. I forgot to mention. Shout out to the Night Ranger.
The Night Ranger.
He's the guy who always goes to Vegas with us.
Okay.
So we go to Rivers.
Right.
This is a story. Hopefully he's listening to the whole thing. He goes to Rivers. I didn't know he was going. There's people listening to our podcast, buddy.
Nice.
He actually went to the casino.
Yeah.
But he was like scouting the tables the whole time. Didn't text me, looking for me. I know he's gonna be, maybe a show up. I'll just watch him. He's there by himself for 3 hours. We're watching the other game at the sports book.
Oh no.
And I go to the tables finally looking for Luke because I went to the bathroom, come out, where's Luke? Where's Luke? Where's the table? I run into Night Ranger. I'm like, dude, what's up? He's like, oh yeah, I've been here since 11. I'm like, what? It's 2:30, bro. I'm sorry. Just text me next time. But he's like, yeah, it's all good. He played a little craps with us, won some money left.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't on with the big role, but it was great.
They still made it worth his while.
And then the previous time we went to Four Shadows, David K was there. Oh. He came out. He's like, no, I didn't talk to Luke. I heard your podcast. I'm like, people are listening.
Yeah.
The tens of people.
We're gaining traction. It's going to turn into hundreds and tens of.
Yeah. So I'm going to Four Shadows, MC. I'm going to Four Shadows, David K. I'm going to Four Shadows, whoever wants to be there. It would be helpful if you told me you're coming, that I have enough space at a table.
Yeah, a little potluck maybe. I'm telling you, one of these days we should do one live on location.
We can do it over there at your spot, but they have food there.
Okay.
You can purchase food. You can't bring in your own food.
That's
maybe
fine.
Maybe like a snack bar.
A snack bar. Okay, that's fair. No, I was just honestly, I've been watching the games at home last couple Sundays. Yeah. So it's been pretty chill.
We were at the softball.
Yeah, it was softball. So we get the red zone. Shout out to the red zone. So always keeps your Sundays on their toes, if you will. Yeah.
All right. Well, follow us at Side Action Pod on Twitter, at Side Action Podcast on Instagram. Follow me at Wegspool on Twitter and on Instagram.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Dalton Cooper and at Mr. Grumpy Gills. We are the Side Action Pod. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Side Action Pod. Until next week. Hopefully I'm telling you, hopefully we have a World Series. If it goes 5 games, I'm gonna be in such a bad mood next week if it does, because it's gonna be over. It's such a great time of the year. You got NBA. There's nothing better than having that Saturday NBA game followed by that Saturday night college game too, followed by the Sunday morning of.
the girlfriends love it. They love it. That's why I'm divorced.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's why Callie does laundry on Sunday. She just leaves me alone, and she says she comes and finds me wherever we're watching games. So shout out to you guys. Yeah, follow us on social media. Until next week.
All right, bye.
Just in time.